Spoiler-free culture has gotten a little too broad for my taste. It is obviously perfectly understandable to expect people not to spoil major story events, like any modern equivalent of Aerith dying in the original Final Fantasy VII, which is the go-to example, and if you're mad I just spoiled that after 26 years, I'm gonna go ask Sephiroth to put a skinny blade through your bosom as well. But with some of these games that have come out, people are taking it way too far. I did a spoiler-free review of God of War Ragnarok, which didn't have any story spoilers, but it did show some mid-game goings-on, like fighting with the Drungnir spear in a section where you played as Atreus, and a few people were up in arms like, no, my spoiler-free experience. Like, dude, it's a God of War game. You didn't think there would be a new weapon? There's literally always a new weapon. Also, it's a weapon. It doesn't betray us or turn Kratos gay. It doesn't change anything. It's a fucking stick with a pointy end you can thrust into people hella hard. Some things just aren't central to your blind experience, which if you want so bad, then you already know you're getting the game and don't need to be watching reviews anyway. Playing as Atreus isn't a spoiler just because it's something you didn't know would happen. You also, at one point, climb a big wall. Oh shit, did I ruin the game for you? I think people highly overestimate the value of the experience of seeing something mildly unexpected and going, oh, that's cool. Like, how much is that really worth to you? You can still see that it's cool and experience it as cool when the moment arrives, and in fact, you might even trade that sudden onset of tepid wonder for some persistent anticipation. You can be like, damn, I can't wait till I can play as Atreus, and then that feeling can accompany you through your time with the game. Also, you play as him a lot. It's not a wacky novelty for 10 seconds. It's large chunks of the game. They don't need to be carefully hidden from blind eyes. I think narrative spoilers are really the only important ones. Something like who dies in a Danganronpa game, which does very blatantly ruin the entire experience if you know ahead of time and render it pointless to play. It gets murky sometimes too, though. Like Doki Doki Literature Club, even being billed as a psychological horror game, is technically a major spoiler, but it's become so central to the game's marketing that nobody's really caught off guard by that anymore, even if they haven't seen anything. I had the first major event spoiled for me by the internet when I was looking up whether I'd be interested in the game before I first played it, and I know it would have broke me if I didn't see it coming. It still almost did, because I was reading the text out loud for voice acting practice and really trying to be in the moment, but I obviously do understand the impact that spoiling actually important things can have. It's just that not everything is important, man. I had some people upset when I put Nidhogg in the thumbnail for my God of War Ragnarok boss ranking. Like, dude, it's just a big lizard, okay? It's not Darth Vader taking off his mask. It's exactly the type of large animal creature we've been fighting different iterations of in every God of War game ever. It's an early game boss that holds almost no narrative significance. When I watch trailers, I want them to show as much cool stuff as possible. Not like some movies where they literally put the entire plot, twists and all in the trailer, but with games, if there's cool game mechanics, give them to me. If there's a myriad of weapons or power-ups, show them to me. If there's a bunch of cool characters whose presence isn't an inherent spoiler, reveal them to me. I want to see every aspect of this foundation, dude. Call me the building inspector for video games. I want to see if there's cracks. I want to check every support beam. I want the blueprint on my desk with everything shy of how the story plays out. Retain my ignorance of where the game will go, but give me lots of details on what it'll be like to get there. Like with Pokemon, for instance, as soon as a new generation is teased, I'm like, show me every Pokemon and their base stats and what moves they learn and what new mechanics are in play. Pronto, why haven't you done it yet? Feed me the guts of your game. I don't like spending 3 months wondering what the starters' evolutions will look like. I'm on Twitter following leak databases and refreshing their pages on the daily. However, I do understand the appeal of going in totally blind and having a 100% wonder-filled playthrough, because that's what I did with Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth in 2015, and as someone who only knew what like 3 total Digimon ever looked like back then, that sense of unknown discovery carried me through what was otherwise a pretty whatever game. So if I want to do that, I will simply not scour the internet for related content to the game I'm actively trying to avoid spoilers for, and even if something says spoiler-free, people should internalize that usually only means major story events, pretty universally, or if something's an Easter egg or otherwise symbolically significant to a degree where surprise is paramount to enjoying it. Also, the dog dies. That's just a spoiler for everything with a dog in it. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe. Don't watch any of my other videos unless you've already seen them, and I'll see you guys next time.